thank you for coming out here. Obviously, you're playing a show, and thank you for sitting down with me. This is Poducer, the podcast for producers. If you guys could just introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, what's up? My name is James. I'm one half of AYOO. I'm the one with the hat, always with the hat. And this is my younger brother.
I'm Eric, and I'm the youngest, and I'm just tall, and yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go. All right, guys, can you describe your sound for me? And here, I'll give you the mic.
Testing. No. So I would say this, man, like, there's different vibes, especially when we make music. I would say for that, I like breaks. So like drums, and then I like more like the sawy synths, I guess you could say. So in the sense of bass house or whatever, you get an essence of that. You get an essence of a little bit of like deep, some funk, a little bit of like grit. But then though, you got Eric over here, and I think he can kind of explain the rest of it.
Yeah, like, for one thing I would say a lot of our sound is, how James said, definitely breaks. The sorry sound would be like abstract, that aggressiveness right there, and kind of like having a vibe of like this kind of like funkiness along with our sound. But I guess so I could say too, like, we're born and raised in Chicago, so we like to throw a little bit of like, as we call it, a little ghetto-ness into that. And melody, yeah, exactly, melodies too. That's like the one thing like we focus a lot with, of having an actual chord structure melody that could be catchy and most of all memorable, and something to bring feeling to that person. Because that's the point of like what we do with it, is not just of like just playing festivals and shit, but it's for or anything like that. It's for us to connect with the people, and for them to feel something within our music as to how we feel it when we write it.
Sure, man.
Yeah, Eric does a lot of good melodies.
Yo, so this is a question that I ask on my podcast a lot, and that is, what was your first concert? Not like a gig you played, but just like the first show you went to.
All right, so first show, music, anything ever, was Spring Awakening 2013 at Soldier Field, and I only went, dude, yeah, I was completely mind blown. I had a wrestling shirt on and just shorts, while I looked at everybody like, oh, people are like dressed way different. That same show was actually Eric's first 3-day fest that he went to, and I went because one of his like really good friends gave up his Friday ticket, and so that's.
Oh yeah, it worked out perfectly. For me, I would say my first like concert experience ever was actually not Spring Awakening. It was a Battle of the Bands out in Arlington Heights. I was in high school during this time, and it was just so cool because like I never like got to see anything live like that before. And then after that, I went to a Pitbull and Kesha concert. And the thing is though, is that it was the day before of Spring Awakening is when it happened too. So it was like right before that Thursday, and then that Friday's when Spring Awakening started. And like the thing is though, I'm gonna say this too, like if it wasn't for my wrestling teammates, like I was going through a bad breakup. They're like the one that convinced me to go to Spring Awakening. So I shout out to my homie like Jeff and my boy Mark as well too, and my boy Andy. They're the ones that convinced us to go to Spring Awakening and doing what we're doing now, and I appreciate the crap out of him for that.
What was your worst gig that you've played?
And there's a lot of the times where we played at the Mid, we didn't even have record box. Yeah, dude, rest in peace, the Mid. Like, we didn't have record box, and so I would go to the Guitar Center in Chicago and queue up songs for like 2 hours.
Dude, I did that. I had a gig where I had Serato, and like, you know, a lot of people this is probably not like an uncommon thing. Like you got Serato, you got like the Native Instruments one, you got Tractor, and then you got to play a gig with record box, and you're like, wait, what is that? How does that work? So
yeah, man, like totally different. But I know that had to be like 1 or 2 times at the Mid. But I know myself, worst just gig was at Zero Gravity, and you know what I'm talking about.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it was like, so it was like booked at Zero Gravity, and like we get there, and I believe it was just me and my brother. We pulled up, and we were there, and there was like just no one in our room. But it was crazy because in another room was Mantis that was playing like heavy dub, and I'm just like, dang, this is cool. And then I remember just like no one there. So we just ended up playing Big Ribbon Trap just the whole entire time, just to have fun with it. Yeah, we had to bring our own mixer with it. But that was just like back in the day though, so like you had to like do that with it. But like now where things are at, like bring the flash drive with it. But I would say like it was definitely up there along with this one set that I did for myself. I was playing at my school festival called Sue Fest, and thought I was in a great transition, but then I listened to the mix after, and I was like, damn, this was the worst like set that I've ever played. And I was just like, people liked it. I was like, not me.
Oh man. Well, you know, everyone has a bad set from time to time. And honestly, we're probably all our own worst critic. So can't be too hard on yourself. All right, so who's like an artist right now that you guys really like look up to, people that are inspiring you as DJs, producers to, you know, experiment with sounds, mix differently? Who's on the radar?
Well, man, I like a lot of drums, so like Fox Stevenson and like Kirby, they have really good like drums, or even just like drum packs and stuff too. But I'll watch. Well, lately I've been watching like their tutorials on just how they make, you know, some drum and bass, and or like Kirby will do some of his like, you know, house music. I find inspiration from like a little bit of like Dada Life, and it's totally different than you know, house music. I don't know, like the way that I like sound design is different from Eric. So like I'd like to configure a lot of stuff in Serum and then just, all right, we're gonna plug that there, and then just let it play, and then just kind of like draw little lines when you configure it in there in Ableton. And
Sequence.
Yeah, and so I'll do that, and I don't know, that they're kind of like has the inspiration from Dada Life. And then like I said, Fox Stevenson, it's been some drums.
I remember seeing a Data Life interview, and they were just like, we get in fights all the time about like nudging these little MIDI notes and just getting like them perfect.
For me, I would say it's big time RL Grime. RL Grime's been one of my favorites and someone I looked up to a lot, especially with like sound designing. Same with Virtual Riots, who for sound designing big time. Machoda, Abstract. Shoot, man, like it's a lot of like, I like to look at like with even like outside of it, because even like, for example, like J. Cole, Eminem, like Joey Badass, and then influencing with like Led Zeppelin as well. Like I like to like see like other DJs as well too, like progress and like look up from them, and I love that. But then I also think about the fact and depth of like where that came from, and then I look at other artists, even older artists like Motown, like style, like back in the day, and just take from there. So like I would say my inspiration is basically going from finding my favorite DJ, but then going back to like the 70s and 80s and listen to what they had there, their drums and like the concept that they did too with it. And it's just it's so revolutionary because it's just evolved like so much in it, and it's one of my big inspirations is like taking things from back in the past and try to implement what we have here now.
Yeah, and all this music you hear behind us somehow is a derivative of like 70s music in some way at some point in time.
If you
listen real close. Word, guys. Well, it's 1:20. You guys got a show to play at 1:30. So I'm going to let you guys go, but what can we expect from your set tonight?
Well, so we're back with Clank. I think Mysterio might make an appearance tonight too, but I think we're gonna do just probably some house, and Eric was talking to me about it earlier, but you gotta have him like sneak in a little bit of drum and bass.
Definitely some house for sure. To be honest with you, when we were talking to Clank and everybody, we were just like, we're gonna have some fun. So it's definitely gonna be a little bit of everything. I can definitely see that. Drum and bass for sure. I definitely want to put some of that in tonight, but definitely house and night bass style, and then of course AYOO style.
Where can people find you?
You guys can find us on Instagram at AYOO Official. Facebook is facebook.com/AYOO Music. Same thing with SoundCloud, SoundCloud.com/AYOO Music. And then like we have our link tree on our Instagram as well too, and I'll have all of our socials and our next release as well too right now. And we just had signed 2 tracks right now, so be prepared for some crazy releases soon.
Hell yeah. Thank you boys for coming down. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate you, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.